This is one of the hardest videos I've ever made. For a long time I stayed silent to protect my peace, to protect other people, and deep down to protect myself from facing the truth. Today I want to speak because silence doesn't erase the past. And I believe sharing my story can inspire hope for those who feel trapped, comfort for those who feel alone, and courage for those starting over again. Sometimes there are stories we never fully speak about, not because we want to hide, but because some realities are too heavy to accept, too painful to remember. For a while, I lived in a world that looked beautiful from the outside, full of love, adventure, and hope. But sometimes the world we believe in isn't the world we actually live in. Sometimes the ones closest to us are the ones who hurt us the most, who silence us so deeply that it takes time to find our voices again. A few years ago, I packed my bags and moved thousands of miles away from my family and friends. I never imagined that one experience could hold so much purpose and so much pain at the same time. At first, it was everything I dreamed of, a time filled with joy, laughter, and hope. But what many didn't see was the other side of the story. A time marked by pain, quiet struggles, and endless questions about where it all went wrong. While I was building a beautiful life on the outside, I was fighting a silent battle behind closed doors. I found myself in an abusive relationship, one that caused deep physical and emotional pain and slowly began to break me. I was gaslit until I questioned my own reality, isolated from people who cared about me, and blackmailed into silence. At times I felt like I was losing my mind. I became someone I didn't recognize. Anxious, afraid, second-guessing every word, every step. And for a long time, I believed all this was my fault. That's what abuse does. It doesn't just hurt you, it makes you question yourself. It takes away your strength, your voice, and your hope. It took me a while to understand what was happening, and for a long time I couldn't find the right words to describe what I was going through. And maybe I never truly will. But now I understand the pain, the visible and invisible scars carried by those who have survived abuse, often in shame and in silence. And in all this pain, there's one lesson I've learned. One I believe someone out there needs to hear. Real love doesn't hurt like that. It doesn't silence you, it doesn't isolate you, it doesn't betray you. And most importantly, there's no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. Real love is built on trust. It's honest, it's safe, it's peaceful. Real love feels like home, not survival. Deciding to leave was the hardest choice I've ever made. It took a lot of strength and courage to finally reach out for help. Leaving wasn't easy, because it wasn't just walking away from a relationship. It was walking away from a life I had built, from people I love, from friends who became family, from memories I created, and from a country that I call home. Kenya wasn't just a place I lived in, it became part of me. The language, the culture, the people, and I know no matter where life takes me, I will always find my way back. But sometimes we need to be brave and let go of something, even if it once meant everything. I walked away with nothing, no plan, no certainty, just a backpack and a heart full of questions. Walking away was the beginning of finding myself again. I stopped choosing pain and I started choosing me, and I will never lose my voice for anyone again. Healing from abuse is not easy. I had to let go of the person I had become just to survive. It took time, it took tears, and a lot of courage. I had to endure waves of anger, grief, and deep pain. But I wasn't alone on this journey. During this time, I've been deeply blessed by love, by the love of God who protected me in countless ways. He placed people around me who reminded me of my worth, who walked beside me when I didn't have the strength to walk alone. Even in the silence, I was never on my own. I was surrounded by family, friends, and strangers who offered their love in ways so quiet yet so powerful that my heart will forever be filled with gratitude. Thank you to the friends who didn't let go of me when I needed them the most, who never stopped reaching out, even when I disappeared into silence, for giving me a place to stay when I had nowhere to go, for comforting me when I was at my lowest, for making sure I never went without a meal, even when I had no desire to eat. Thank you for showing up unconditionally, teaching me the true meaning of friendship. Thank you to the strangers who saw my pain and shared their own stories, their experiences, and their deepest wounds, offering me strength and hope for healing. Thank you to my community for standing up for me when I couldn't stand up for myself, and for encouraging me to keep moving forward. Thank you to the people who opened their homes to me and showered me with kindness and love, for listening to my story and bringing me moments of peace to calm my mind. And thank you to my family for showing me that I couldn't fall deeper than into their arms, for reminding me what it feels like to be safe, to laugh again, and to simply live without fear. I am still overwhelmed by the amount of love I received over the last year, and I will never take that for granted. Healing isn't a straight line. I still struggle with memories, with anxieties, with trusting myself, and with trusting others. But I had to learn that healing takes time and that I have to be patient and kind to myself. I learned the healing power of forgiveness, not to excuse what happened, but to free myself from the weight I carried. I had to forgive, not just the one who hurt me, but also myself, for not knowing how to set boundaries, for accepting less than I deserved, and for staying too long, but also for the silence I kept, for the ways I chose to survive, and for the mistakes I made along the way. Forgiveness helped me understand that those who caused us harm also carry wounds that may have never fully healed. In forgiveness we find peace, not just for ourselves, but for those still lost in their own battles. Finding my voice again wasn't easy, but from my heart I want you to know it's possible. And I want to share my voice with anyone who might still be living in silence, just like I once was. Please remember, it's not your fault, and you deserve safety and a love that doesn't hurt. If you can relate to my words because you're experiencing something similar, please talk to someone you trust or reach out for professional help. You are not alone. Your voice matters. And there's a brighter life on the other side of abuse. There's healing, there's peace, and there's a version of you waiting to be reclaimed, full of strength, joy, and freedom.